Hello, everyone. Christian Hernandez here with Sports Video Group. We're here with another edition of our On the Pitch series. We have two gentlemen from Sporting Kansas City. We have Blake McFarland. He is the Senior Manager of Match Presentation and Esports. And Stewart Pirani. He is the Director of Video and Stadium Production. Gentlemen, how are you guys doing, and how's the year so far? Stu, you can go first.
Yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate you having us. It's good. 2021 is definitely a much better year than 2020, hands down. So really excited about this upcoming season. Obviously, we've started, and what this season has to come. So really excited about that.
Awesome. Blake, how are you doing, man? I'll break the fourth wall. That blue arm next to Blake's right side is actually Stewart. So they're across the way from each other. But Blake, how are you doing, man? How's the season for you?
Good. I wish the results would be as good as they were on Sunday for us. Obviously, a great win against Austin on the 9th there, and it's been exciting to have some more fans back here. I feel like every time we add people to the building throughout this whole process, our jobs are getting just that much more fun, and eventually we'll get to a spot where we're gonna have some loud crowd pops, and you'll leave the stadium feeling really encouraged by what you did, as opposed to like 40% encouraged by what you did.
Right. So we'll start there. You guys are at 40%, but even before those supporters came back, when it was time to get ready for this upcoming season, and you found out you were getting at least 40% back, what was going through your mind in terms of production, getting things ready, getting the team ready to go? Stewart, I don't know if you want to start off with that question first.
Yeah, I mean, we really needed to take a look at our content at hand, what we had planned, and what we were going to do. Really believe, obviously in the terms of stadium production and in venue experiences, is making sure our fans are integrated with the show as much as possible. So, that challenge of showing them as much as we can on the video board, while making sure that they're in the correct safety protocol, making sure that, our stadium has 6 feet, social distancing, pods, masks, required, making sure that we are correctly showing those fans who are correctly abiding by those kind of rules. So making sure all that. And then of course, exciting that crowd. A limited capacity is obviously a little bit of a downer for the environment, because there's not as much noise as those fans can make. So making sure that we are creating engaging content and exciting content for our fans to really feel that extra excitement in the venue.
And Blake, when it came to kind of putting your runner show together and your production plan, what was it like when you kind of knew you were getting people back? You didn't have to worry about, crowd noise. I'm sure that was one thing that other leagues have had to worry about. Mm-hmm. And now that fans are back, you don't really have to worry about having to press a button and make fake noise come out. What was it like knowing that you're going to have beating hearts inside of the stands?
It was more fun, right? Every time we had people into the building, it's more fun, and it's why you get into this role. It's why you get into this industry. So I think that was great, and I think Stewart nailed it right on the head there. I mean, our goal from match presentation, from the video board in venue perspective, is we want to make 40% capacity feel like 100% capacity when it comes to the energy in the building. And I think for us, we found some ways to do that. We found some ways to kind of make it seem that way. And I think the other way is, just keep lining ourselves up. And I think for us also, we taking this time to audit what we were doing, and maybe, is this really that good, or is this just kind of a result of the large people we have in there, and what do we want to change, and how do we get better from this situation?
Right, go back to the drawing board to see what was working, what didn't stick as well, and then going from there. Blake, we'll stick with you. Some examples of the in-venue elements. Are you incorporating sponsorship back now that there's eyeballs kind of on those boards and those LED displays? Fan activations, because there are people in there. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but it's true. What are some of the content that you guys are creating to get up on those big screens?
Yeah, I mean, I think for us, we've kind of gone back to what we were doing a little bit before this, with from a sponsor perspective, but how we can do everything to be more engaging. I think it's been a great opportunity for us to take things like those PAs that everyone loves and loves listening to all the way through, and turning them into engaging content pieces for us to kind of redo some things. And I think for us, we've taken the opportunity to learn how to be more gamified, more digital, more. You don't have to be looking at the field. You can just be paying attention to the video board. And I think the other side of it is, for us as well, is we want to be a little bit virtual. I think we did some times last year where we had some Zoom rooms incorporated the video board. We had some times where we had pre-game shows within our team apps that were kind of timed between the video board and that. So for us, it's what that programming is. And it's just really for us, we're getting back more and more to kind of like what Stuart and I talk about, like ideal situation where our video board script is got the right amount of sponsors, that's got the right amount of engagement, that's given us the right opportunities to get people excited.
I brought this question up before we started, but the working relationship between you guys, how has it been to kind of get used to working remote at first, I'm assuming, when the pandemic first hits, and now you guys are together all the time? Was it like that throughout? Was it Zoom meetings where you can't have meetings together? How has that kind of been over the last, I guess, 12 months or so?
Yeah. So what I would say, I'll take the first stab at this one. So Stewart started with us in December of 19. So he was just barely into sporting once all this happened. So obviously we went remote for, I guess I went back in the office shortly after Memorial Day. I think Stewart was they kind of split us up. You know, I was in the office, Stewart was at the stadium. So we didn't see each other a lot, but I think the thing that makes kind of our setup unique is that Stewart's also one of a great friend of mine, and we literally play video games every night together. We go out when we can and have socially distanced hangouts with us in our friend group. So I can't get away from him, even if I try. And so I think for us, we both just it really made it kind of a, as I was saying, my parents always said to me as kids that adversity makes the strongest bonds. And
right.
I think that when we were going through all this adversity, it would kind of expedited our friendship to the point where I know all of his quirks, what makes him mad, and I use that to my advantage to make him as mad as possible when I want to make him mad. And then I also know not to do that stuff when I need to make him happy because I need something to get done.
You just showed your tricks up your sleeve, so Stuart, now you know it's going to come.
He's known it for months.
Well, now that
Blake hit the nail on the head. I can't even respond to that.
Right. Stuart, now that I have that additional information, starting in December 2019, your first season in MLS was during the pandemic. How was that like? What was it like working in those, coming into this season, you had expectations of being a little bit limitless, and then you came in and you had limits. What was it like kind of get adjusted?
Oh, I had grandiose plans going in, that January, February, that was just so exciting for me. I was about to start my first MLS venture, and new stadium for me and new crew, everything about that, new fan base. I was so excited. And of course, obviously March hit, and I feel like I hit a little bit of a brick wall there. But obviously, the working with Blake has really tremendously helped me. He was able to, it kind of gave me time to reflect on this club's needs and this club's culture and this club's, ideas that way. Because again, I only had about 3 months prior to the season starting. So I didn't really know that information. I was kind of going on my background. So moving forward, I mean, it kind of was a little bit of a blessing in disguise, because it led me to really soak in the history of this club and to understand its fan base, its team, its culture. And that way I can reflect that moving forward and going into, what the end of the 2020 season was. And then of course now this season. So, it's one of those really blessings in disguise that I'm really excited for.
Stewart has seen the building full one time in his career. And I've told him of all these great stories of how loud the stadium can get and all these cool things we can do. And he's never seen that before, but I think he was right there on the history of it. I kind of forced him to take a deep dive, hey, August 18, 2015, we score a goal in the 90th minute. This would be great for an intro video. So it kind of forced him to be better on the history, where if we were in the grind this season, Stewart would have only known the guys that were on the 2020 roster. And I think for both of us, it's a time to reflect on is everything we can do and how we can do it differently. And I think it was all positives if we did what we did, which is allow them to be as positive as they can be.
Blow the dust off the history books, kind of dive into it and kind of get ingrained into the fabric of Sporting KC, right? Before I let you guys go, I would be remiss if I ask about the staffers that you guys have beside you on match day. Stewart, we'll start with you first and your crew. Who do you want to shout out? I'm sure you want to give kudos to everybody, but is there anyone on top of mind that you want to give some recognition to?
Yeah, I mean, I really can't put one person over another. I mean, our whole crew is just unreal, and making the things work, especially at the end of the 2020 season when we only had, a very, very limited capacity. They made things work. Our camera guys are constantly trying to find in that scarce venue, the potted out is making sure that we're only getting fans with masks on. It's the shout out to the entire crew. I really can't choose one over the other. They did an amazing job, and they still are.
Right. Blake, is it the same for you?
Yeah, I'd say that for sure. But I think over this time and last year, I think both of our NCAA most and our PA guy have been phenomenal on being able to adjust on the fly. I mean, when we talk about energy in the stadium, we wouldn't have very much if it wouldn't be for our NCAA most Hartzell Gray. And I think he's done a great job on doing all that. And I think that our PA, John Dale, has done a great job of being forceful when we need him to be when it comes to mask mandates. But at the same time, last year was a rough year for people, and everyone wants to find those times for escapes. And there are some moments where he had a little bit of fun behind the PA mic and kind of taking some of our serious reads and kind of adding a little smirk to him. And I think that everyone's enjoyed that. I think without those two guys, they would have, they didn't make mistakes. They dotted their I's across their T's, and both of them brought the sense of belonging and energy that we desire so much at our stadium.
Right. You got to find those silver linings when you can. Guys, Blake, Stewart, thanks for the time. Appreciate it. Don't worry, Stewart, there will be a packed house at some point. So you will hear the place shake. You're going to still get that kind of the first timer moment, and I'm sure it'll be very, very well worth it. But thanks for taking the time, guys. Hopefully when it's safe enough to do so, I can fly out to KC and say hello.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.